to We Geek podcast. Today is Wednesday, February 10th. My name is Adam, and I'm joined by my good friend Logan.
Hello.
What up, and man, how was your week?
Oh, it's insane.
I know. Man, my condolences to your team.
Hey, you can't win them all.
I know. The memes that came out of it, though.
I gotta give the internet credit. Some of them were pretty damn funny.
We all won with the memes. Yeah, I had no dog in the race at all, but either way, if there were memes that came out on either side, I would have been hilarious. But they've been something else. But yeah, man, the Super Bowl, I wish it was a little bit more exciting. It was close for a little bit there. But yeah, no, just this year's kind of sucked for my team, so I wasn't that excited. But man, yeah.
Well, it was just a crappy game. Like, the Denver defense was the only side of either team that showed up to play. That was not the game I was expecting.
Yeah, oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, the defense totally won that game. They came, they knew exactly what they needed to do, and they stopped the run, and it was wow. It was something else. But besides that, what have you been up to, man?
At work. I deliver pizzas, man. Super Bowl week is it's like Black Friday for a week.
Oh yeah, see, that's just the one day I know not to order a pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I go to Publix the day before or whatnot. I get everything, or I'll get like a thing of like chicken. I love chicken wings for the Super Bowl for some reason.
Yeah.
I think it's just a American vibe. I have no idea. It's just something that I do. I didn't do this. I actually worked too. I worked, luckily, for whatever reason. And with the job that the other job that I do, we get time off if it's available, like randomly throughout the day. If we're just dead, nothing's going on, they'd be like, hey, you guys can, you don't have to work right now if you don't want to, and you get paid time off or unpaid time off, and it doesn't come out of your vacation. And suddenly, as soon as the Super Bowl started, that popped up, and I was like, all right, I'm taking it. But I didn't go anywhere or really do anything because it wasn't that exciting for me. So yeah. But man, all right. Well, we're gonna have a great show. Let's start out with some bad news. We got Steven Spielberg's Ready Player One moves its date, and I guess it got scared because of Star Wars.
Well, sure.
Yeah, so it pushed it back to March 30th, 2018, and I guess it's not technically bad news. They need more time to find the actors, right?
Yeah, well, because they're still doing, I don't know if it's still open or not, but they're doing that open to everybody on the internet casting call we talked about last week.
That's crazy.
That's insane. Did you send yours in?
Nope, not yet.
Oh, wuss.
Right. Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know why I didn't. You actually sent yours in?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I guess I really need to do that. I don't know. What did you do? Just take like a picture?
No, they do, like, you take a video, like, you sign up for it, and it's not, it's not a whole big to-do. It's like, here's the email, and they're like, okay, well, we'll send you the sides and a little description and everything. And, you have your lines that you audition with to camera, and somebody off camera, it's a dialogue. So you have, you're playing off somebody who's sitting off camera.
And you have to send this to me.
I will not.
You absolutely have to send this to me.
I sent that in, like, to them to say that I did it, and then awesome. I didn't delete the file, but it is sealed away, and maybe one day, maybe one day. Like, when the movie comes. Yeah, like when the movie comes out, then maybe, we'll put it up and be like, this is what it could have been like.
That is great. Oh, I gotta do one too. Yeah, I gotta do one too, man. That's awesome. Yeah, I was like, that's great. They're doing it. I didn't think like, oh, I'll put it in. Now you've kind of encouraged me to do that.
Well, and I mean, here's the thing. There's, you have one other person that you have to interact with, because it's a dialogue. But other than that, if you're self-conscious about it or anything, there's nobody else on the planet that will ever interact with you about this unless it's to give you good news. So I mean, there's nothing to lose here.
Or if they're leaked, then we're in trouble. But Yeah. Oh man, definitely. After the show, send me the information about that because
Yeah,
I would love to do that. That would
yeah,
be actually really fun. And like you have nothing to lose, only something to gain. So.
right. Yeah, so yeah, it's like what's the worst that can happen? They don't call you.
Right,
Like that's
exactly. And
it.
maybe the role you're going for is not for you, but they might go, "Hey, look, I don't know why, but you look perfect for this role, or we'd like to fly you out to be this side whatever, because we just like your look, or we like your attitude, or the way you just your bravado,
It
So who
happens.
knows?
It totally happens.
Yep, that's what happened to Hurley. He came in and auditioned for Sawyer, and they're like, "No, you're not Sawyer, but we're gonna put you in the show."
Wow, that would have been a whole different show.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Totally. Yeah. Absolutely would have been. But when they saw him and they talked to him, they were like, "We need you in the show. You're a character." They literally made Hurley after the actor.
After they met Garcia. Very cool.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. And I always thought that was such a cool story. They were the first person they hired. Apparently, when they were screening, they're like, "Nope. Yep. You're in. You're someone else, but you're in the show because we just love you." And I was like, "Oh, that's so awesome!" Like,
Nice.
yeah, they just saw something else in him. So
Nice. Very cool.
I thought that was cool. I thought that was cool. We got some Ghostbuster news. Did you see the first photo of him, Liam Hemsworth as Kevin?
Yeah, I did. He looks like a professional assistant. Like,
Yeah,
that's
looks like a model professional.
yeah, right. Well,
It's always funny to me when they take like just models that are just beautiful, straight up models, and they try to make them look nerdy or geeky or you know
well, and
not what they traditionally look like. And it always looks so fake.
well because all they do is put a thing of the big rimmed glasses on. Like
Right.
that's it.
Exactly. Big rim glasses, maybe a bow tie, but bow ties are like popular
Yeah, bow
now.
ties are cool.
Yeah, exactly. So it's to me it's like okay, that just looks like Thor trying to pretend like he's going to the library or something.
It's Thor Kent. Like it's
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's that like no one believes that you're really, I don't know, it just always looks put on to me.
yeah.
But yeah, it looked cool. I mean, I can't wait for the movie to come out. I know a lot of Ghostbuster fans are excited. Yeah, did you see this Fast 8 news?
I did. I like this news. I like this news a lot.
Go ahead and take it.
They were thinking about like, well, who's the villain gonna be in this next film, and apparently they have offered. This isn't like she came in or anything. They offered it to Charlize Theron
Oh, that's awesome.
after seeing her in Fury Road, which I think is fantastic. I think it's a great choice.
Yeah, no, that's a perfect choice. I was trying to think of who they would do next, where they would go with the series, because 7 really ended in a lot of ways a lot of the chapters,
Right.
and so this is going to be it's completely different, I think. And apparently, like Vin Diesel said, it's a new trilogy. It's the beginning of a new saga for them or whatnot.
Right.
So
8, 9, and 10 are like the closing trilogy of the series. I think is a way they've described it.
yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, I can't wait for it. That it's really weird. If you would have asked me after Fast and Furious 1, I would not have been any interested in the series, but
Right.
it's really odd coming back and seeing them all now. But yeah, man, we got some other strange news here. They are doing a MacGyver film, Lionsgate developing film Reboot alongside the CBS TV series. So they're rebooting not only the show apparently, but also they're going to make a movie.
Yeah, and that's looking through our notes. If anybody wants to play the Reboot drinking game tonight, go for it.
Right.
That's the word of the night. That's all the news was about this week. But yeah, they're not content with just having a new series on CBS. They need a MacGyver movie too. Sure, why not?
Let's do one thing at a time.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, let's focus on getting one thing successful, but because when you put that much effort into something and you don't know it's going to fail, look at the what was that one? There was a Bionic Man they tried. It's like the Bionic Woman on TV, and it failed miserably. Not all these things are going to work. And MacGyver, how relevant is that today? Nothing's exciting to me about MacGyver in 2015. I don't know. That's just really weird. But I mean, it's funny. The only thing we had close recently was what, MacGruber?
That was just an abomination of a thing.
Yeah, I never saw it.
Don't save yourself the agony. It's hands down one of the worst SNL skit films, and that's saying a lot.
Yeah, I would. What would be your favorite SNL skit films?
Wayne's World.
Wayne's World. Yep. Yeah, you're right.
Not even a question.
That's good. Yeah, no, you're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah, that's gotta be. I'm trying to think of the ones over the years that they did, and that's gotta be. For some odd reason, for a while, I thought that Austin Powers came from an SNL skit, because it just complete SNL skit all over it. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the Mike Myers in it, sure.
The guy. Oh, real fast tangent. The guy who throws the shoe in it.
Okay.
Okay, so you know how they're spoofing Bond, and in Bond, the guy who throws the hat.
Right, Odd Job, right.
Odd Job. So the guy spoofing him in the Austin Powers movie, and he throws a shoe.
Right.
That actor murdered somebody.
With a shoe?
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. He didn't. He did some really violent crime. Yes. Okay. He murdered somebody, and then he really, really did a violent crime against someone else. I saw it on this TV show where they were like, "I've been a victim" or whatnot, and it was really bad. He hurt a few people, and he actually killed someone in prison.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Take a dark turn there.
Yeah, a little bit.
It was an odd bit of news, and I saw it the other day. I was like, "That is really weird. What happened to him?" But yeah, so it was odd because the reason why he got busted was because one of his victims saw him in the movie and went, "Holy crap, that's the guy who hurt me."
Oh my god! It's the same shoe.
Yep. She went to the police, and I don't want to. What happened to her was really bad. But he went to jail. And then apparently a year or so later, he killed someone in jail, murdered them, and now he's in jail for the rest of his life.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was crazy because she noticed him in the movie and went, "Oh my God, that's the guy that did what he did." So, sorry about that dark turn there.
How big of a star? This guy was not OJ big. Like, you can't.
No. Yeah, he wasn't. Yeah. He was just in, I guess, that one film, but she recognized him. What are the odds? Yeah, I thought that was weird. All right. So Saw. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I don't know how to transition into that, but Saw, we have our 8th film in the franchise. And I saw that Josh Stolberg, he wrote Piranha 3D. Now, who was the person? Because I thought the original producer was coming back.
James Wan?
Yeah, I thought he was coming back, or no?
I think he's kind of like emeritus with the Saw franchise.
Okay.
Like, they stick his name on it, like, because they have to. And I know he's been involved in all of them to some degree.
Okay.
Like, because I think he directed the first one. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure. And then I think he's been executive producer throughout the rest of the series.
Right.
But I think that's it's the same thing here. Like, he's still executive producing, I think.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's what it was. And he's went on to direct a lot of things, even like one of the Fast and Furious films, right?
It was Furious 7, wasn't it?
Probably. Yeah.
I think
that's what I'm thinking. Yeah. So that's crazy. So I mean, what are they gonna do with? I don't know. I've completely lost track of Saw movies.
Well, because like they ended it. The Saw 3D ended it. Like, that's it. It's done. So I mean,
I didn't see that one. So.
Yeah, like it tied everything together. It answered the questions and it tied everything up. So I mean, I don't.
See, I guess it's weird because I thought like the 4th or the 5th one tied everything up, but I'm so.
Well, they kept finding ways to go after that.
Okay, okay. Yeah, because that's when I was just like, I don't. So, wait, what time frame are we in? What movie are we in? What room are we in? Oh
Yeah.
my God, that guy's falling in needles. I was just like, it was too much. Maybe one day I'll revisit it. That original though, I mean, that was something else. I thought.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, and the next few that follow were pretty good too, but I guess I've lost track. So,
Yeah, the first three are not bad. Like the first one is it's an interesting movie, and especially when you think about how cheap they made it
mhm.
and everything. Like it was well done, and it was good for James to get started in with that because it showed that he could do a lot with very little.
Oh
And
yeah,
that's a movie that's a great study in lighting.
yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
But yeah,
What else we?
Saw Legacy coming out at some point in the next couple of years.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, so it's called Saw Legacy. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm sure it's probably like a reboot of the series and be someone new trying to do what he did. Um, but we got some Bad Boy 3 news. Will Smith came out and confirmed that him and Martin Lawrence are definitely doing another Bad Boys.
Well, but isn't that interesting? Because they've already announced a third Bad Boys movie, though.
Right. I mean, I guess it just what didn't come out of the mouth of Will Smith.
Yeah, well, you know.
Right. So I mean, I think it was who came out and said they were doing a Bad Boys. I think it was like rumored and leaked or whatever. They were thinking about it.
Well, it's because isn't it a Sony property?
I believe so. Yeah.
I think it was part of like their future slate, wasn't it?
Okay. Okay. So maybe it was just Will Smith wasn't locked on. And it
Yeah,
was they're doing Bad Boys 3, but I don't know. I guess just because Will Smith came out and talked about it, it made news.
yeah.
Yeah. We got some DC news. The Flash, the film release date is moved up a week from March 23rd to March 16th,
Yeah.
2018.
Yeah, to give it a little space from Ready Player One. Sure.
Yeah, yeah, that would make sense. Go ahead and take the next one.
Okay, so we know Universal is in the middle of screwing up their monster movie universe reboot with Tom Cruise being somebody in The Mummy. I hope he's the Mummy. I would watch the hell out of that movie.
Yeah.
But he won't be, which is too bad because I think it's a missed opportunity. But
Yeah.
anyway, they've announced their next one up is The Invisible Man, starring Johnny Depp as the Invisible Man.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
So would you consider that a monster movie?
They do.
They do.
Yeah.
Okay. So he'll be in the Universal Monsters, you think, if they do like a big
Yeah. Well, because I mean,
mash.
here's the thing. It's not just a guy who's invisible. The living his life being invisible made him crazy.
Okay.
So it kind of turned him into a monster of sorts. It's really just more like the invisible crazy man, basically.
Wasn't this a Kevin Bacon movie?
I don't know. It may have been.
There was I think a Kevin Bacon movie where he was invisible. And he was just creeping on people. It's called Hollow Man.
Okay, no, that was something different, I think.
Well, he was invisible, right? He was like creeping around.
Well, I mean, I'm sure the premise is probably the same, but
right. I remember we got a cat that week. We saw it, named it Sebastian because that was the guy's name in the film.
Okay.
That's a random fact. But yeah, no, yeah, it was a strange movie. I mean, it's kind of the same concept. He was invisible, and he was crazy about it. Like there was nothing he could do about it, and it was weird.
Yeah.
And he went nuts, and they eventually had to take him down. To no one's surprise, Deadpool gets greenlit a sequel written by, how do you pronounce his name?
Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick, the guys who wrote the one that comes out tomorrow.
Gotcha. Yeah, you seen it this weekend?
I'll probably wait.
Wait? Oh man, I definitely want to see it. Absolutely.
We'll see. I'll see how crazy work is. That's usually that's why I go to movies on Tuesdays, because that's my only day off.
See, that's a good idea. I think I'll be doing it tomorrow for Thursday. I'll probably see that and the Hell Caesar. Maybe
Yeah,
do a double feature.
yeah, we'll talk about Hail Caesar later. I saw it today.
Yep. Those are definitely two films I want to see. I've heard nothing but, I mean, Deadpool's getting just stellar reviews.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm really excited. Um, oh yeah, it's Valentine's Day this weekend too, so it's gonna be interesting to see what the numbers are.
Yeah, I just here you want to talk about memes. I can't wait to see just how many lists of like top 10 Facebook arguments caused by dates to go see Deadpool are we going to see, you know?
Right, exactly. Them tricking their their significant others
Exactly.
into seeing the film. Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. Because it's, yeah, obviously it's not a Valentine's Day type movie, but then again, maybe the they want to treat their guy or whatever to go see the film, and say, hey, this one's for you, and later's for me, and we'll go to a nice dinner. Or I don't know, whatever. Maybe there's nothing wrong with that. I think that would be really cool. you know, it's going to be interesting though. I wonder how the numbers are going to do. It looks hilarious. Like
Yeah.
it's so different from what I see Fox doing. It's like, wait a second, who let that guy in? Because that guy's not from Fox. Whoever's did this,
Right? It's kind of like they just said, look, here's how much did this movie cost? 60 million, maybe?
I don't know.
I don't think it can have been. It was not like upper echelon superhero movie, but like how much, Ryan Reynolds has been banging on this drum for what, like a decade now,
Oh yeah.
and finally they were like, look, just here's a director and some writers and money, just go away, go do this. Don't let us, like, we don't want anything else to do with it. Just go away and make the movie.
Yeah, and that's what happened. He's actually talking about, in the future he definitely wants to explore more X-Men because in the upcoming films he wants to be a part of X-Force.
Sure.
Yeah, and it would that is the perfect way to intertwine Deadpool and the X-Men. And he just wants more to do with it because you feel that he's finally latched onto a character that gets him and he gets, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the perfect melding of the two. So from what, and I'm only saying that from what I've seen off the advertisement, the trailers, and everything else, it's all perfect. I've not seen one thing where I'm like, I'm not going to enjoy this picture.
Right.
So hopefully I don't get my hopes up. The reviews are stellar, so we'll see what happens. But I'm really excited, dude. What other news we got here? Did you see that Leonardo DiCaprio is going to reteam with the Reverend screenwriter Mark L. Smith for a movie called Conquest? Don't know much about it.
Interesting.
Yeah, but it looks like they're teaming up again.
Okay.
I really like the Reverend. And did you see? I saw the numbers for Disney. In their record third quarter. No, wait. Not third quarter, it'd be first quarter. Star Wars landed them $2.9 billion.
And that's including what for them? That's Star Wars, and I guess the Good Dinosaur would probably be in there somewhere too.
Right. Yeah, I'm not sure what else would be in there.
Well, and I mean, you got to take into account merchandise and everything. I'm sure they got a cut from Battlefront.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But just, Disney Infinity, I'm sure, whatever else it is that comes from them. I don't know, do they get I'm sure they have to get a cut from the comic book sales too, right?
Oh yeah, comic book sales.
Book sales.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is Disney as a whole. So this
Right.
is Marvel, right? It would have to be Marvel, Disney. It's all of it combined, correct?
Yeah. I would think so, yeah.
It's Disney owns all of it. So yeah, I mean the comic books helped, and I think Star Wars was the most sold comic book last year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's huge. So, basically, it was just saying this is how much Disney did with their quarter, and it was all pretty much because of Star Wars.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. And of course, we had Avengers too. Let's not forget about. I guess that wasn't over the quarter. Just kidding.
No, that was way before.
Yeah, that's true. Man, they're gonna. I was just thinking about because I was thinking about we haven't seen a Rogue One trailer, and that comes out like at the end of this year.
We'll see. We'll see something. It'll either be Comic-Con or D23.
It would have to be, and that what I was thinking is they have so many movies coming out between now and then that they're right now they're focusing on Jungle Book
Right.
and Civil War.
Right.
I mean, they still got isn't there a pirate movie coming out
Next year, I think.
next year? Okay, so they have the Doctor Strange.
Right.
They have something else coming out between now and then. I just forgot what it was.
Yeah, we did a whole thing on this last week too.
That's right. It was like Dory, and there's so many Disney franchises. It's like there's almost too many that they kind of. I guess they kind of have to. They have to really sit down and space them out.
Through the Looking Glass.
Right. Exactly. So I think it's kind of cool. We haven't seen any Star Wars stuff. I'm sure we'll see it. Their D23 or whatnot, or the Star Wars convention or something like that down the road.
Yeah.
But it's weird because I'll talk to some of my friends and I have to remind them that there's a movie at the end of this year because they're like, oh man, we gotta wait until 2017 to see. Or I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, 2017, the end of 2017 to see the new Star Wars film. And I'm like, no, man, we're getting one at the end of the year. And they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, we're getting it at the end of the year. So they asked me what it's about. And I'm like, yeah, it's like during the original movie. And it's going to be about them stealing the Death Star plans. And there's probably going to be bounty hunters and stuff like that. And then it blows their mind. And I'm like, yeah, that's right. Disney's doing no advertising for it now.
Give it time. They're letting the Force Awakens wave finally finish washing up on shore, and once that pulls back, it'll be time to start the Rogue One hype.
Yeah, it's funny, and I hope this is what they do every year. I hope it's we get the movie at the end of the year, Christmas time. It's great, presents, everything's fantastic, and then during the beginning, we start to get some books and stuff like that, and that's kind of what we're doing now.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see like the making of the Star Wars book, which is supposed to come out I think it's like September or so. That's going to be a really nice thing to kind of dive into. I almost went crazy, and I was looking at the bookstore the other day, and they had these Ralph McQuarrie books coming out.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's like 2 volumes. It's like price of a PlayStation. It's ridiculous. I was like, no, that's a little too much. But apparently they're going to be like these big, books where you have all of his, literally every single piece of his Star Wars artwork.
Well, why not?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, man. So. Yeah, I hope it does that. I hope it's so we'll get some books. We still got a few books coming out in the next few months. Then we'll get full into
right. What was the next one? Bloodline? Was that it?
Bloodlines, yeah.
And that should be coming out soon, isn't it? Like March?
Yeah, I believe so. Let's see here. It's I believe it's March. Yeah, and it's the same person who wrote Lost Stars.
Yeah, that's why I'm excited for it.
Yep.
Not just because it's Star Wars, because the help me out here. What was the Aftermath? Not so great.
Right. Yeah. Wasn't that good? May 3rd is when it's scheduled to come out.
Okay.
And Claudia Gray is it. So we're gonna take a break. We'll be back and we'll get into some TV news. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. See you in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. And we're going to get into some TV news. You go ahead and take this first one.
Yeah, okay. This was exciting. Greg Berlanti, whose production company does pretty much all of DC's TV. They do Flash, Arrow, and Supergirl, right?
Yep.
And Legends? They do Legends too, don't they?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, so I think they've got them all covered. He announced officially that on March 28th, The Flash is coming to Supergirl.
Yes.
They will be crossing over. It will be a thing. Everybody is excited. Hooray. I'm curious to see how they do it.
I mean, I have my assumptions. But
sure.
should we hold off maybe into the spoiler section, until our review section?
It does get a little spoilery. Not
Right.
tremendously so, but enough so that I think we should put it off to the review section.
Right, yeah, definitely. But yeah, I mean, I have my assumptions. So it's definitely cool. This is something that everyone's been screaming from the mountaintops that it could happen. Both studios said it could happen. Wait and see. Wink, wink, wink.
Yeah.
Now we just got confirmation, and that's really cool. I'm glad these stations are talking to each other. It's only gonna benefit them.
Yeah.
You know, it's only going to benefit them, and so this is what we want. This is, this is what makes the comic book fans so excited and so pumped for comic book stuff, because this is what they do in the films. This is what, when we finally were like, hey, we have this Marvel universe and all these characters are talking to each other. I think all the other studios, for whatever reason, were like, holy shit, look what they're doing. How are they making all this money? And it's like, well, they're all talking to each other. They're all in each other's movies, and they're all interacting with each other's, and they're all in the same world, just like they are in the comic book. And finally DC got on board. And they're like, hey, let's just not do Batman and Superman separate.
Right.
Let's get them all together. Let's get them on the same screen and interacting with each other. I mean, for Christ's sakes, we just saw Hulk and Ant-Man in a Super Bowl commercial.
Yeah, for Coke.
And it was great.
It was funny.
It was great. It was fantastic. We haven't seen those two characters interact with each other, and we got it in a TV commercial.
And acting like they had known each other for a while.
Exactly. It was fantastic. That's a short little film you could show to a little kid, and they'd be like, "Oh my god, that's awesome."
Yeah.
What movie is that in? So it's a great time to be alive. So I'm so happy these two channels are talking to each other. They're apparently owned, CW and CBS, kind of by the same company, though, right?
Yes.
I'm sure there's some legal mumbo jumbo that had to be ironed out beforehand, but this is great. This is good news. They don't have to be in each other's. It doesn't have to be as much as Arrow and Flash are intimately intertwined, but the fact that they're there. And
right.
They see each other. It's like, that's cool. That's awesome.
Because...
And if they do it in the way I think they're going to do it, it would make sense why. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah. But this,
yeah.
I love that now this opens up the door that anybody can just kind of pop by.
Yeah.
Anywhere. If they give me a Supergirl episode with Constantine in it, I'm done. Like, that's it.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry about that. I had a cough off air, but yeah, dude, absolutely, man. We keep talking about Constantine being in it. We need to see him again.
Yeah, put him in Legends. Put him in Legends next season.
Yeah, absolutely. And the aftermath of what he's done in these shows is still lingering.
Yeah.
And Arrow and whatnot. It's a big part of the show still. What happened. With Thea and whatnot, so it's he needs to be back in it. I love these obscure kind of characters coming up front. I mean, let's be honest, the Green Arrow not too long ago was obscure.
Totally.
Yeah, a lot of my friends were like, "Who's this guy?" And a lot of them now think he's like Bruce Wayne. And I'm like, well, I don't ever want to be that guy where I'm like, well, in the comic book, I never do that. I'm like, but when they ask, I'm like, well, he's a little bit different. Like, he's really, he's very liberal in the book. He's got a goatee, and he's just, it's very different feel, but I love what they've done in the TV show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have them do it any other way going back. I'm not that kind of guy where I'm like, nope, he needs to be this way, and he needs to look this way, and he needs to act this way. I'm like, no, this is it. This is fantastic. I love this. And so, yeah, I don't know. Sorry, got off on a tangent there.
No, that's all right.
Yeah. But yeah, man. So I can't wait for that. It definitely opens up the door. Man, I want Swamp Thing. I honestly think in a few years from now we're gonna see like a dark Justice League on TV with Constantine and Swamp Thing and all these weird characters. It could maybe like one special episode where it happens. Deadman, who knows?
Oh man, if they put Deadman on TV, like that's when comic book fans have won.
Yeah, there's no reason it couldn't happen. I can't wait for that. That's definitely gonna be fun. I think it's gonna something like that would definitely think happen in the Legends of Tomorrow, just because of how weird they can get. And that, man, I've been saying it. I've been preaching from the top of the mountains. That show has become my favorite comic book show on TV, just because of how wacky woo it is and how comic booky it is and timey wimey. Like I don't know why, but I get like a Star Trek vibe, and it's just so cool.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it, man. So we got some other news. Now this Legion news. Did you ever read Legion?
I did.
Or was Okay, so Legion, Dan Stevens, Aubrey Plaza, and Gene Smart cast an upcoming FX series.
Yeah, I read the. I wasn't familiar with Legion in his in the original runs, but the last run of X-Men Legacy they did that focused on him.
Okay.
Was the one that I read, and I enjoyed it. I really liked it.
Okay. Yeah, no, FX have been, man, they've been making some great television shows. The People First O.J. Simpson I've been really enjoying. I think actually that show got like the best FX numbers ever for opening TV show.
Really?
Yeah, it got the best numbers for any TV show they've ever done for opening night or whatever you call it, the premiere. Premiere night, yeah. Just because of how that was the crime of the century. It's still culturally relevant today,
sure.
And it's intriguing. So, but yeah, Legion. I don't know. When I first heard about this, I was not excited, not at all. I'm still kind of on the fence about it. It's got some good talent in it, though. I'm interested to see how they do this.
Yeah.
This is gonna be the first X-Men show we get that's not X-Men, but it's mutants.
Right.
So it's really odd. It's like, hey, we have these X-Men franchise. Let's pick the most obscure character, make it weird, and it's like, I don't know. Just in my head, I'm like, why don't you just do an X-Men show? Why don't you just give people what they want? Marvel's doing it, DC's doing it, or they're doing it. Why does Fox have to be so weird? It's like someone was in the room and was like, "No, let's make art." There's that kind of, where they're just like, "Let's not give them what they want. Let's give them this weird thing." And I'm sure it could be cool. I like FX, but it's just give us X-Men.
Yeah, I don't.
Am I being weird for saying that? Like,
no,
give us X-Men.
But I just Origins Wolverine.
We don't need Origins Wolverine. Give us a mutant academy.
I know,
give us
that's
a mutant academy with kids or something. It doesn't really matter. Something like that.
Right. I'm just saying, look at Fox's track record of hey, Wolverine's a great character. Let's give people more of that. Well, that didn't work out so well the first time. Now did it?
Right. Yeah. I mean, but to me, a TV show, the perfect thing. It almost fits perfectly where you could do a show about kids in a school for mutants, for gifted, and just call it what is it? The Jean Grey Academy of School of.
Call it Mutant High.
Yeah, that's there you go. It could be cheesy, it could be whatever, but I would be way more on board for something like that because to me that says okay, we could get a Beast, we could get an Arc-8, we could get an Angel, we could get a Jubilee, we could get these weird all these characters. Legion. We're just going to get a show about Legion, someone that I don't know one fan of. I don't know. Sorry. I'll stop with my tangents, but it's just a bit odd. It's just really weird.
Well, but I kind of see where they were going with that because I'm pretty sure part of that thought process was let's pick a character we're never going to use in the movies.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was. It was like, hey, these people are off limits, so we need to do, I don't know. It's not like they're going to share the same universe. That we know Legion's probably not going to share anything next to the Fox universe, so why does it care? At that point, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know.
Yeah. What is it called anyway? Is the show just going to be called Legion?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I've been trying to look it up and I can't find it.
I'm pretty sure that's what they're going with.
Okay. Well, it says TV movie, and I know it's not a TV movie unless it's going to be Legion, the TV movie. But it has all these actors and actresses, in it. Did you see that on IMDb?
No.
I mean, Aubrey Plaza is a really good actress. She's in a lot of things. Yeah, it's called TV movie on IMDb.
Because I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, David Haller, aka Legion, is a haunted man with a power beyond comprehension. So yeah, I know that's weird. They label it as a TV movie. I hope it's not just a movie. That would be weird.
That would be weird.
Yeah, yeah. But take the next one because I know you like this news.
I do like this news. I like this news a whole lot. Anybody that's been following us lately knows that I am a huge Gilmore Girls fan, and I have not shied away from being excited about the Netflix revival they're doing. They are slowly trickling out casting news. We found out Yannick Truesdale, whose name I know I'm terribly screwing up because it's French Canadian, will be returning as Michel. I'm not even going to try that one. Dude plays one of the lawyers on The Good Wife, is returning as Logan Huntsberger. And I always forget if it's Lisa or Liza Whale, who is now on How to Get Away with Murder. She is returning. She was Paris on Gilmore Girls, and she is coming back too. So we keep getting good news on top of good news on top of good news about this.
Yeah, man. No, I don't know anything about these characters.
You gotta give it it's on Netflix, man. Give it a shot.
Yeah, I know. I guess I can do an episode or two, see what it's like.
Give it a few to warm up to, and then if you don't, then you don't.
Yeah. Do you think they're gonna make it where you can just jump in to the new season, or is it gonna be one of those where you just gotta know everything?
Oh, I think you're gonna have to know some backstory.
So this is gonna be like a Fuller House.
I hope not.
Did you see the trailer for Fuller House?
God, that was like everything I didn't want that to be.
It's exactly what I wanted it to be.
No.
It is the cheesy 90s sitcom that doesn't really exist anymore.
And there's a reason for that.
Yeah, but hey, there's a place for it. Netflix. You get all the episodes at once.
Sure.
Why not? I don't know. I didn't want it to be like. It would have been weird if it was shot any other way, if it had the comedy any other way. It's exactly what I don't know, man. If they're doing a Family Time or Family Matters or something else, I would want it the exact same format that it used to be. Oh man, imagine if we get another Family Matters.
I don't want to imagine that.
Really? You didn't like Family Matters?
Not particularly, no.
Family Matters was my favorite. That was hands down. I liked it better than Full House. Come on, Steve Urkel. Roseanne was good too.
Roseanne was good.
Roseanne was like real, it felt.
Yeah, especially at the end where it was just the most depressing thing ever on television.
Right. Yeah. Oh, no, I completely agree. And it was actually, that's where when people like to rag on Roseanne, I'm like, actually no. Like that show had heart all the way through. It felt more real when they were yelling at each other. It wasn't like sitcom yelling. It was like, I think Dan's about to kill her.
Yeah.
But that's what happens in real life when your parents fight. It's not nice. It's not,
It's not pleasant. No.
Yeah, and it felt real. And then yeah, at the end that it's gut wrenching. It's really, and it's heartful. It was like, wow, like they really did something with this. So
and I blame them for the How I Met Your Mother ending that I refuse to acknowledge as canon.
Yeah, I liked it. I don't know.
Well, I mean, they have you seen they put the alternate ending for How I Met Your Mother up on YouTube?
No.
Like there is, like they took it off because they included it on the DVDs.
Oh, okay.
Like they did an ending more like what people wanted, and they were like, and this is the alternate ending. I'm like, this is the one you didn't pick? Are you stoned? What is wrong with you?
Maybe I'm forgetting exactly how it ends.
Yeah,
we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, that's okay. You're forgetting really, because like it like the internet lit itself on fire when that show ended.
Yeah, the show wasn't really my cup of tea. I enjoyed it for most of the time, but then it
did what tends to happen with sitcoms that run for more than 6 years, man. They run out of, like, the material just kind of tanks.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen Big Bang Theory in like 3 years.
You're not missing a whole. I hate to say it because I love that show, but you're not
Yeah.
missing a whole lot. Like it's the first few seasons are great, but then once they grow up, it goes downhill. Like it lost its charm.
Yeah, totally. Well, we'll get back. We'll talk about more depressing things when we return. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. See you in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and we're still in the middle of TV news for you. So let's get into it. We just talked about Gilmore Girls. We did get on the opposite end of the spectrum some Voltron news. Did you see this?
I did. It was Netflix announced the full title and they debuted the logo and everything, the title card and everything. I don't know. Like I don't really feel one way or another about this.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know some people are super hyped for Voltron and some people are, why must they keep remaking things?
Right.
But I mean, I could go either way. I have no particular emotion on this one.
Yeah, right. It's made by DreamWorks. And it is called Voltron Legendary Defender. Did you ever watch Voltron as a kid? I didn't.
I might have some.
It looks like anime Power Rangers.
Because I mean it came first. It was
right.
I know because it was what late. It was what like mid 80. What was it? 86.
I don't know. I mean that's when I was born, so I probably didn't know anything about it at the time.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. Voltron was never my thing. I recognize it. I see it. I know the logo because I'm a nerd, but it was never my thing. I don't know anything about it. It's like a bunch of tigers, right? It's like a bunch of tiger droids.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, so I don't know anything about it. I know it was a comic book too, Marvel Comics. So I don't know. But Netflix is getting the show, so I'm sure kids will be excited about that when it's on it. That's what my friends who have kids, it's all they watch is Netflix. They turn on Netflix Kids for them, and the kids just go to town picking whatever they want, watching Christmas movies in July. The most odd Christmas movies too. Like just Netflix bottom of the Walmart barrel Christmas movies. Where I'm like, what is going on in this? I've never seen this before. And it's just, you name it, Netflix Kids has it.
There you go. Hey, whatever works.
Yeah, exactly. They just turn it on. The kid knows exactly where to go on the remote to how to move around Netflix. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. But yeah, so that's cool.
That's a little terrifying.
It is, but dude, imagine that as a kid. If you just had access to watch any Spider-Man animated, Batman. Oh, here's all the Batman series. Here's the Spider-Man series. Holy cow! Like I would win more arguments back in the day about cartoon shows if I had them all on demand.
Yeah, well, back in my day, we learned how to work a VHS.
Right, exactly, yeah. Didn't even learn how to do that until much later when I was like, I want to tape wrestling because there's 2 channels with it at the same time.
Yep.
I think that's when I first figured out how to oh, wait, I can record things. No, actually it was before that. I think we recorded Star Wars off HBO or something.
I'll never forget the first... I learned... I'm a terrible person because I learned how to do... we would record... kind of like what we're doing here with how we chain record the audio. We used to do that with rented VHS tapes.
Oh wow.
We had two VCRs, and we would chain we would take the output and input, like you set it up for the TV, but then you would actually send that there would be an output from the first VCR into the second VCR, which you would put on the right channel, which would then play through to the TV. So on the second VCR, you were actually recording what was playing through the first VCR.
Wow. Okay, and so that's how you got your movies, huh?
Because I really wanted Little Rascals. I really did.
All right, well, I hope the FBI is not listening.
Oh, it was... Come on, this was, a
right,
very long
everybody
time
was
ago.
doing it. Did you at least rewind the tapes?
Yes, we always we be kind, we rewinded.
Right, yeah, absolutely. You know what? Well, the movie we always rented, and to this day I have no idea why, because I'm not into basketball. Above the Rim.
Really?
No idea. We rented it all the time. I can't explain it.
Interesting.
We would always, yeah, for whatever reason, if we couldn't find a movie, we'd get Above the Rim. No, it's not Above the Rim. That's not the one. That's with Tupac. That's not what I'm thinking.
Are you looking for White Men Can't Jump?
No. It was okay. This is gonna bother me now. This was the one where I think the guy comes from Africa to play. They scout him. I'll think of the movie. It's something about the rim. The air up there, or
It might have been The Air Up There.
is it the air up there? Yes, that's the one. That's it. Okay, Kevin Bacon. Yeah. The guy's, yeah, he's from Africa or something. Jimmy Dolan is a college basketball coach who wants a big promotion. To get it, he needs to make a dramatic find. He ends up deep in Africa, hoping to recruit Salah, a huge basketball. I could click more for summary, but you get the gist.
Right.
That's what he does. He's the chief's son, which means he has responsibilities at home. And since the tribe's land is threatened by a mining company with his own hotshot basketball, it's the most ridiculous plot for a movie that you could never get away with in 2015. It is the most. Go look at it. You'll be like, okay, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could not get away with that film nowadays.
Think about how many movies like that we had back in the 90s.
Yeah, we did. It's kind of a shame we don't have stuff like that anymore because it's just goofy comedy. It was a fun movie. I don't know why. I don't like basketball, but it was a fun movie, and I don't know. It was cool. I always remember putting that in the VCR and eating pizza.
There you go.
Oh yeah, we always made a blockbuster night. We'd go rent army toy soldiers or whatnot.
Small soldiers.
Small soldiers. No. Well, that was the movie. I'm saying the PlayStation 1 game.
Oh, Army Men, Sarge's Heroes was the
there
big
you
one,
go.
yeah.
That and yeah. It was a good time. But oh yeah, Toy Soldiers. That's another good one.
Yeah.
They had the song in it. What are we good? Anytime I hear that song, that's where I go to. For some reason. Yeah, it was a good one. Isn't Tommy Lee Jones one of the voices in that?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. All right, back on track. Gotham. Did you see we got the first pictures for Hugo Strange for BD Wong?
Yeah, and he looks it.
Yeah, I saw you share the image earlier, and I was like, that's him from Jurassic Park.
They've really worked that whole chin strap look.
No. Like in the image that you shared on Facebook.
Oh, well, that was the header. Like they didn't want to spoil the actual content. Yeah.
Right, exactly. No. I'm just saying when we were scrolling by, I'm like, wait a second, he looks exactly like he does in Jurassic Park. And then I clicked it and I was like, oh, nope, he looks exactly like Hugo Strange now. Yeah, that's so. Wait, is Gotham still off air?
No, it came back.
It did? Okay, so
did
you see it?
Am I caught up to the break? No, maybe. I don't know. Possibly.
Well, I'm caught up to the break, so it came back from the break.
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, we got to do that. Catch up on that.
I don't know. I can't keep anything straight anymore.
Yeah, I'm caught up from the break, definitely. Then when it went on hiatus, I was like, okay, we're going to get Mr. Freeze coming up and everything else. I saw a little bit of the previews. I don't think it's back yet, which kind of sucks. It's weird because we got Flash, we got Arrow, we got DC's Legend of Tomorrow. We're getting like everything back now.
Yeah.
And Gotham needs to catch up. And we got Walking Dead this weekend.
I know, right?
Oh man, I saw something I shouldn't have seen. We'll talk about it later. Maybe we'll keep it for the spoilers. Yeah, I guess it was promotion for Russia, and they showed an image of something that I really wish they didn't show. But we'll get into that later. I may or may not say it because it's a huge spoiler. I'll just leave it at that. But yeah. So all right. So yeah. So what did you think of when he looked like? Did you think he looks like Hugo Strange? I totally think he does.
He absolutely looks like Hugo Strange.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you see the image of Mr. Freeze?
No, I did not.
Oh, okay. Yep. He looks like Mr. Freeze.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and they're saying that's. I think we talked about it before. We're saying it's supposed to be heart wrenching or whatnot, which makes sense. You know.
Yeah, because I mean, it's a tragic story.
That's if they stick with the same story. I mean, this in Gotham, everything seems like it's kind of changed.
True.
At least they adjust a lot of the origins. Like, I mean,
True.
look at the Joker's. His is really out there, and I loved kind of the way they did the Joker in this.
Well, except it wasn't really.
But it was the start of something. You see what I'm saying?
Right. There's a seed planted. Sure.
Right, and I loved that seed. So, have you been reading? We'll get to that later. But have you been reading Batman?
No, I have not.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll go into that later. But yeah. So, yeah, I can't wait. We got some Star Trek news. Brian Fuller, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, Hannibal announces showrunner for 2017 CBS series.
The series you'll only be able to watch on the CBS All Access streaming service that no one uses.
This is the worst decision they could have ever done.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, put it on the app, but put it on the television.
Oh, you meant the whole, that whole thing. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is the stupidest decision I've ever seen. Like, sorry, but you're not Netflix yet.
Yeah.
We saw about Community Yahoo or whatever. You know me. I know you don't like Community. I love Community. I haven't seen an episode of whatever Yahoo BS they did. I don't know how to get that. What was supposed to go to Yahoo.com? Like, I'm not kidding. That I have no idea how to even see that. It's so far out of the way for me. I know that sounds so silly, but if I'm not going to go out of my way and I know how to surf the internet like a normal person, do you think, anyone else a few grades behind me is going to do that, go out of their way?
Exactly, right?
Yeah, the only people who are going to see this are the hardcore of the hardcore Star Trek fans. And that's sad, but anyway. So, leaving off on some more bad news, we're going to take a break, but when we get back, we'll have better news. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and we'll see you all in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and we got a little bit more TV news to talk about. We'll hop into some video games. We just talked about Star Trek, getting a showrunner and whatnot. Do we know when the show's coming out? By any chance? I know it's 2017.
It's first quarter, isn't it? February, March, April, something like that.
Okay, cool. All right, so I'm definitely gonna check it out. I just think it's such a horrible decision. But we do got some good news. We got some Rivendell news.
Riverdale. Rivendell was in Lord of the Rings.
Man, what a show that would make! God. I want the CW to do a Rivendell show. Yeah, that would be fantastic. Imagine that. Rivendell High.
Oh, God.
Oh, one can dream.
Glorfindel, why are you late again?
Exactly. And they can do a crossover with Riverdale High. But yeah, so anyway, the Archie show, pretty much.
Yes.
Yeah. What was it? How would you pronounce her name? Lily?
Yeah.
Yeah, Lily Reinhardt from Surviving Jack, and Cole Sprouse, the Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, cast as Betty and Jughead in the upcoming CW show.
Okay.
Did you see the news with Jughead in the comic books?
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, he's asexual. So, he's not sexually attractive to anybody?
Yeah. Attracted. Attractive is a committee vote.
Right. Attracted.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I haven't heard much about that, so I'm completely ignorant to it, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's just, I haven't read it, and I'm really behind on Archie stuff. I think the last time I really read it is when we were kind of discussing it and whatnot. I need to hop back on that because I really liked that series.
Yeah, I don't think I ever jumped onto it.
Yeah.
Once you, even though you were talking about, because I did get into Afterlife with Archie, but I didn't get into the main series. That's right.
Right, right. The main series is pretty good. I read like the first 3 issues or so. I read one of the Jughead ones. Though it's weird how they write him because in one Jughead book, he's all about like eating hamburgers for some
Yeah.
reason. He's a weird character in one book, and then the other book, he's really different. He's like, oh, he's a regular normal person.
Well,
Giving, it makes sense now why he's asexual because Archie's like the opposite, I guess. He's just completely sexualized. And I was reading one of the panels, and that's kind of how they're explaining it. They're like, look at my best friend, where I can think out of a situation where he thinks he gets himself into situations, horrible situations, because he goes by attraction and lust and whatnot. Where I can kind of, not let that bother me. The way he puts it, pretty much. But yeah, okay, so we're gonna get a Riverdale High. Now I want a Rivendell High.
yeah.
Yeah. So, are you familiar with any of these actors or actresses?
No, I am not.
Yeah, me either. I think the Zack and Cody was a Disney show.
Yeah, it ran for a good number of seasons, I think.
Right.
It was towards the end of their, like, when they did decent live action shows.
Oh, did you know Selena Gomez was on Barney?
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, she apparently got her start on Barney.
Did you know that Abigail Breslin was in the second Princess Diaries movie?
I don't know who that is.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, that name just doesn't sound familiar to me. Let me see a face. Still not familiar.
Really?
Yeah, what is she in? What is she popular from?
I don't remember.
Okay, well, so, come on. You're telling me random stuff, but what is she in? She's in Zombieland and Little Miss Sunshine. Okay.
Little Miss Sunshine was the big one, yeah.
Okay, she was the little girl in Signs.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, no, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, now we know. All right. We got okay. So Jackie Earl Harley.
Haley.
Haley, you take this one.
Yeah. Yeah. The dude with the gravelly voice from Watchmen is joining Preacher on AMC.
Yeah, I liked him in Watchmen.
He was
Rorschach, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was good, man. Preacher, I don't know. I forgot what I was listening to. I think it was Up at Noon or something like that. Yeah, it was. Max Schalfeld was talking about, mispronounced the name probably, but he was talking about Preacher and how just impossible it's going to be for AMC to do this because he was saying how, like, yes, Walking Dead's violent, but America loves violence, so it makes sense. It can work, and it's zombies they're killing and stuff, so they can get away with it. But Preacher is like butt stuff and like like really violent butts, like that's the way he put it, very as nicely as he could. He's like, it gets very sexually graphic, it gets very offensive to anyone who's religious. The whole Preacher is all, it's extremely offensive to, I guess, anyone in for Christianity or anything like that. So he really finds it's going to be interesting to see how they are going to pull this off.
Yeah.
And how because even with like The Walking Dead, it still has a lot of religious undertones, and it definitely pays respect to it. But where Preacher is apparently the complete opposite, where like he's it's like going against God apparently in the show, and that's going to be interesting to see how America deals with that on AMC. He was thinking HBO could absolutely get away with it.
Oh sure. Oh, yeah.
But when you have I don't know, you have Middle America turning on Preacher, it's got to be a late show. He's thinking he was talking about it's got to be like either late as The Walking Dead or even later. But I'll be watching, of course. I've heard nothing but good things about Preacher from a lot of my comic book friends. But that's going to be an interesting one to watch to see how they do it, because they're like, some of the stuff you just can't get away with even on AMC at all.
Yeah.
So and Walking Dead, thankfully, they've been able to pull everything off on Walking Dead. They've taken detours with a lot of the source material, but like the violent stuff, they've done already.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
we'll see.
So, we'll see. But we got some video game news to talk about.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to
Oh,
one thing I wanted to tack on with talking about how how are we going to do with something as potentially a powder keg that Preacher is going to be.
right.
Lucifer's doing some fairly decent ratings. So I mean,
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're absolutely right, and that's on like a more. That's like what is it like? What's Lucifer on? It's on one
Fox.
of the
It's on
Fox.
Fox,
Yeah.
yeah.
Jeez.
And it's 9 o'clock. I mean, that ain't nothing, man. I mean, you have a show called, like, it's not a show called something that happens to be about Lucifer. I mean, the damn show is called Lucifer. Like, you can't.
Yeah. You know what? You're right. You're right. That would have never flown 10 years ago.
Oh my God, are you kidding me?
Right. No, like
Jeez.
Touched by an Angel followed by Lucifer. Like it would never work.
Well, technically, they could be the same show.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, no, you're right. I didn't think about that. Yeah, no, man. I didn't even think about that. We have a show called Lucifer, and it's about the devil.
Yeah.
So yeah, this it's gonna be interesting.
And they want you to root for him. That's the kicker.
Oh, really?
Well, I mean, he's not he's not the villain, is my point.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Like, that's the whole idea, is like you're kind of pulling for the devil, You're like, okay,
Jesus.
sure, why not?
I gotta catch up with the show then, because it's kind of off my radar. It didn't seem interesting at all to me, but I remember you saying it was pretty good.
Yeah, I enjoyed the pilot. I haven't seen anything after that, but that's just been time. Like, I've had no time this week to watch anything.
Yeah. No, I hear that. Yeah, it's definitely not enough time of the day. But let's see here. What else do we got? No, yeah, I think that's it for TV news. We got some video game news, and we got some sad news.
Yes, we do.
Site from, I was in high school, I think, when the site was out. This was the website, and I know I'm bearing the lead here, but this was the website that I went to when E3 was going on. This was before YouTube was, I think, as big as it was. Oh yeah, actually, yeah, it was way before YouTube was as big as it was. But GameTrailers closed down shop after 13 years, and it sucks. They told their employees that day they announced it, and put a lot of people out of work. Good people too. They had some of the best reactions to a lot of the E3 stuff that we saw last year, right? Was it last year?
Yes. No.
Yeah.
Year before.
Year before. Okay, yeah, with all the PlayStation stuff. When they came out of the woodwork with all the Final Fantasy and all this other stuff they were coming out with. Yeah, it was really sad.
Well, look, the thing was, like, that was where you went and had all of that stuff aggregated. Like, all the, aside from just game trailers, they did news and reviews and all kinds of stuff, but I think a lot of live streaming through YouTube, I think, was part of what made it, I guess, irrelevant is the word.
Right. Well, what do you mean live streaming through YouTube?
Well, because up until that point, like, there wasn't live streaming through YouTube. Right. It was just posted.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was reading. I forgot where I saw it earlier today, so I'm sorry for not being able to quote who said it. Jim Sterling, that's who it was. He had a whole article about how GameTrailers. He was saying it was its own success, that it was a victim of its own success. That they latched on to a company apparently early on, and they did not jump onto YouTube as soon as they should have.
Yeah.
I guess they were notorious for resisting it because of, I think it was Viacom. Whoever bought them, was like, no, we don't go that route. Don't go that route, until it was way too late. They jumped on board, and everyone else had channels. And so basically what happened is the higher up said, this is not worth our money anymore. We're losing money. And that's kind of the way I think it's going to be going. Unfortunately, I think it's going to be you're going to have two very opposite ends of the spectrum. You're going to have the major sites like IGN that's not going anywhere. And then you're going to have the more personal, intimate type of things, kind of like what we do in a way, that are you don't have the overhead company telling you that's it. We're closing up shop. I actually see a lot of these in more personalities. Does that make sense? It's going to be
Yeah.
more personalities, and that's kind of the way it's going. That's why YouTube is so popular. That's why you have people like PewDiePie, who's clearly on one end of the spectrum on YouTube, but you still have a lot of other people that are really successful. Total Biscuit, Jesse Cox. There's a lot of successful people that are personalities where I think the industry is really starting to realize that you don't need these major websites to do stuff like that. And the people that are in between, the ones that are now attached to a corporation, they're being cut off.
Yeah.
And that's what sucks. So I definitely see a lot of the people that were with GameTrailers, they're probably going to be doing their own thing, just like the guys at Kind of Funny. Kind of Funny, if you're in that video game journalism world, that's really the way to go, because their personalities, IGN let go some of their biggest talents, I guess you would say. The Tim, Nick, Colin, Greg, and Kevin, the producer, pretty much. They're all gone, and they're doing their own thing, and they're succeeding. Like I just saw. Did you see the I don't know if it's on the news for today. Did you see Amazon's new lumber thing?
No.
Okay, it's like a game engine that Amazon is doing and giving to people, where they're integrating Twitch in a video game. So the engine has built-in Twitch functions. So when you're playing the game on the computer, you can have Twitch up while you're playing it, and have the chat room right there while you're playing the game. All of this crazy stuff, and in their video they had the guys from Kind of Funny. It was just, that's how, it's crazy how big they're becoming. But they had to break away from the normal games media and do their own thing, because they were so passionate about what they're doing, they had to break away. So hopefully the guys from GameTrailers, there's a lot of people that lost their jobs. Hopefully hopefully they'll be back on their feet. They'll get new positions, and the kind of faces of it. They do their own thing. They should really, just like what is the Funhouse people?
Yeah.
I forgot what they're part of, but they're doing their own thing now. They're succeeding with it. So So I mean, much love to them. Hopefully, they land on their feet. I'm sure a lot of them will, but it just kind of sucks, because that's where you went as a kid to watch whatever the next trailer was for the next video game you wanted to play. You'd go right to GameTrailers during E3. But yeah, we got some other news here. Unless there's anything else you wanted to say about it?
No, I think we covered it.
Yeah, we got some Mirror's Edge Catalyst story trailer release. Now, I didn't see this. It's for the upcoming prequel, sequel, reboot, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
It shows more of, because in the original Mirror's Edge, you have, it hints at side characters, but they're really just like, hey, here's another person. Like, there's no depth, there's really no development, nothing. And even with your character, there's no, you're not, nothing about Faith. They never tell you really much of anything about her. But there's hints at this whole subculture with runners and everything, and kind of teases it a little bit. The story trailer for Catalyst really starts to go into that. Like, there's a network, and you've got different cells set up here and there, and it kind of focuses on this one, and so on and so on. So it's definitely something worth checking out, because it definitely, when I saw this, it reminded me, like, oh yeah, I need to be excited for this game.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, no, I see. This was one of the ones I told you I never played the original. Well, I did. I think I played like a demo, but that was it.
Yeah, it's God. If you can find it on, because I don't know if it's on Steam or anything, but God, it's got to be like $25 now.
Oh, okay.
Like,
yeah, I can definitely get it on Steam.
Yeah, I don't know if it's. I can check, but I don't know if it's on there or not anymore. Because it was, but then EA does its own thing now.
Yeah, no, yeah, they're
Origin. Yeah, it'll probably be on Origin for sure.
Yeah, no, I can definitely check it out. Yeah, by the way, Steam has some huge sales this week. My buddy Adam he just bought a computer, got a gaming computer, went all out on it, and he's like, "What have I been missing?" He goes in the Steam store, and it just so happens to be one of the biggest sales of the year right now,
Yeah.
and he's just like, "I just bought 52 games."
And he probably spent what, like $25?
Yeah, exactly. He was just like, I went crazy and I blacked out and I woke up and I had 52 games. And I was like, yeah, man, enjoy it. Because he's like, I had no idea that this world existed in video games. And I was like, yeah, man, that's what's the phrase PC master race that people call it, the
Yeah.
video game lingo. It's true. Like there's so much there. You know, he's enjoying Star Wars, the Old Republic and stuff like that. He's a kid in a candy shop. He didn't know this stuff existed until a month or so ago. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of sales. I think South Park Stick of Truth is like $3.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. We got some more news here. Red Dead Redemption, the backwards compatibility leaked ahead of potential announcement. So basically, I guess someone went online, showed you how to do it. A bunch of people went online and downloaded Red Dead Redemption. I don't think you can download it anymore, though, right?
Well, because there was it. You couldn't just like go to the store and find it. There was a whole exploit you had to use, and it kind of came around that like, yeah, this sort of violates the terms of service.
Oh yeah, probably wouldn't be the best idea to do it.
Yeah, so there was a whole to do about that, and then they finally yanked that, like they fixed that loophole. But
okay.
it's probably going to be in the near to probably immediate future where they're gonna say, "Hey, guess what's backwards compatible? You'll never believe it."
Right, yeah, oh yeah. Well, I'm sure that's gonna be what's probably coming out this year.
Yeah.
Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah. Mirror's Edge is on Steam right now. It's $6.79. So.
There we go. Okay, yeah, I should definitely pick that up. Go ahead and take the next one here.
Yeah. So we got. Hang on. Sorry, turned my head there for a second.
Oh, no, you're fine.
We had over at Capcom one of the producers over there, Yoshinori Ono, has said that they are discussing the possibility of reviving Onimusha.
Nice. Did you ever play this?
I did. My buddy Paul played through. I mean, he went through all of them in what, like a few days. Just sat down and just went straight through them. I think there were 4, if I remember right.
I don't think I've ever played. You know what? I think I might have.
Now, don't confuse. Now, see what I did, because I wasn't really up on Onimusha before I sat down and watched him play some of these. I got Onimusha and Bushido Blade confused all the time. And they are not the same game.
Okay. Let me see here. No. What? No. Bushido Blade. Yeah, no. That's not what I'm thinking of.
Okay. So it was just my problem. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I think I played one of them, part of one of them, a long time ago, like back on the PlayStation 2. Okay, cool. Yeah, it looks like there's a lot of fans for that, so that's awesome.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's like we want a new Onimusha, we want a new Dino Crisis, and if Capcom would please do anything with Mega Man, that would be really great.
Oh yeah.
Anything at all.
Yeah. Mega Man was great. I saw the guys. Speaking of kind of funny, on their show the other day, they were talking about the music from Mega Man and whatnot.
Yeah.
And just how great it was and how great those games were, and it's a shame it's not around anymore. But yeah, so we got some more news here. I saw that Final Fantasy IX dropped on iOS and Android.
Yeah, surprise.
Yep, I think it's like 20% off. Probably for the first week or so.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's like $20. It's weird because I think it's cheaper. Where else was it cheaper? It was like the PlayStation Store, I think.
Well, now it's not on consoles yet.
Well, I mean PlayStation 3, isn't it on?
No.
Oh, well then where did I see it? Yes, it is. I thought it was.
No, not the. Okay, that's the origin. That's the port. This is the enhanced version, like what they did with 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha, because I thought it was already on.
Yeah, the original version is already out as a PS1 classic. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, and this was one I remember because see, we all know I haven't really played much Final Fantasy. And I remember looking at the art from this, and I thought, holy cow, that looks beautiful.
This is one I would highly recommend you get.
Yeah, it looks right up my alley. As
Yeah.
soon as I saw it, I was like, because 7, I mean, I know as much as everyone loves 7, that kind of style doesn't entice me at all. But when I looked at this, I was like, this is gorgeous. Like, looks like artwork. So this is definitely something I could see diving into.
Totally.
I would definitely love to pick this up on my Vita. And play the enhanced version, which eventually will come out too. It's on iOS right now, and iOS, honestly, it's not that bad to play to play these kind of JRPG games. It's really I really enjoy JRPG games on the iPad because you just touch it. It's kind of, you have your menus. It kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, but yeah. So it's out on iOS and Android now, and Steam coming soon. Did you see any of the Destiny stuff?
I haven't yet. I may dive into that in the next couple days.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I remember how in love I used to be with Destiny.
Well, and then, they kind of stopped doing all the fun little stuff.
Right, exactly. And at first I thought, this is cool. And at first it was when Taken King came out, that was awesome. And we were getting content like every other week where some random thing that no one knew about, that everyone suddenly was, playing MacGyver, not MacGyver, but I don't know, what am I saying? Everyone was trying to figure out what was going on. And that all stopped after a few months.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone kind of figured out everything, all the exotics and whatnot, and then it's been like these weird, maybe once every 2 months, little special events like the Sparrow races I wasn't into, and then now this one is like the Crimson Day, where I don't really know what's going on. Basically, there's a new Crucible mode where it's 2-on-2. You pick a partner. You get special ghosts that look like candy.
It's Valentine's Day themed. It's their play on all of that.
Right. It's their way to go, hey, here's this because we didn't make any new content.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, but I'll tell you what, some of those ghost shells drop it up to 320, so I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I know that's, I guess, it's just it doesn't excite me at all. I don't know why. It just kind of sucks. Like, I saw Kotaku had like the best headline for their article. It was you used to play me on your PS4, and it's the guy doing the Drake's Bling or whatever song.
Oh, Hotline Bling, yeah.
Hotline Bling, and it was like, you used to play me on your PS4. I was like, that is perfect. Because it's true. I mean, I don't know. There's so many other great games that I would before. The only reason I still even touch Destiny, honestly, is because of my friends that play it. That's it. If they're on, I'll hop in. I'll say hi. I'll play with them a little bit. I'll be honest though. I'm like, I'd rather go finish Witcher, or all the million other games I have, Fallout, The Witness, for Christ's sake. I'm pulling my hair out playing that game. But I'd rather play that than sit in Destiny. But yeah, so anyway, did you see that Sony was trying to trademark Let's Play?
No, this one I didn't hear.
Yeah, they were trying to trademark Let's Play, and they got denied.
Well, there's a shock.
Yep, and in other kind of related news, the Fine Brothers, the people behind the React videos like Elderly React or Kids React, those videos on YouTube where they kind of throw a Game Boy in front of kids.
Yeah.
And they're like, let's see what they react, and it makes you feel really old. They've apparently been on YouTube forever. They've millionaires, I don't know how many times over now. They tried to trademark the word react. And the not just the word, but the actual, like, what they were doing. Basically putting something in front of something and watching them react, and that format, which is a slippery slope.
Right.
Right. And the way they really did themselves a disservice by coming out and trying to tell everybody what they're doing and trying to pretend that it was this thing that was going to change the world and make it a better place. And
well, like, they did this whole, like, if I remember right, their whole thing was like, we're doing this and then you can come join us under our umbrella kind of thing, right?
Right. So anytime you make a Reacts video, we take 50% of the profits, and you still get to have it, and you can say that it's under our umbrella. and it's a slippery slope. It's you know, this is the kind of funny guys talk about it, and it's like, imagine if they were just like, we're going to copyright the format of four guys talking around a table.
Right.
You can't copyright reacts because that's a human reaction. That's like every video on YouTube.
Yeah.
And so, you know, maybe they weren't doing it to be these evil whatever, and I'm sure they weren't. But it's a slippery slope. And that's where you get into, apparently they were flagging Ellen DeGeneres videos and a bunch of other, like, apparently really nice people in the industry, and it was like, well, that's bullshit. Like, why would you go after that? You can't, you know, she's having kids react to certain things. They're not stealing your brand or anything.
Right.
It was, yeah, and apparently it's just also the way they worded it. Like when they're in their video, you know, they were like, well, people are stealing our stuff. It wasn't, when you're on that level and you're like they're like an actual studio pretty much. You can't do that. You can't word things like that. And you probably, they're kind of shot themselves in the foot by getting in front of people and saying that to begin with.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was bad all around. So apparently they completely put everything back into place. They're not going after that. They've taken down the trademark. They've taken away all of the requests for any of the videos they have flagged or whatnot, and they pulled back. And it's not something they want to do because just how much negativity they got from it. It was a lot of backlash. They lost thousands of subs, a lot of bad publicity. It was just kind of bad all around. But yeah. So, do you have anything you want to say about it, or?
Nope.
Okay, I think we're running short on time, so we're gonna come back. We're gonna take a break though. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and we will see you all in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and we got a little bit of video game news to talk about, some comic book news. We'll get into our reviews, including American Gods. Some quick video game news here. Did you see, by the way, any of you guys who play Battlefront out there on your PlayStations, Xbox, or PCs, this weekend there's going to be a bonus XP. So it's double the XP all weekend long from the 12th to the 14th.
Nice.
So if you're looking to rack up some points, get to level 50, I recommend doing the fighter pilot one, the one where you're in the X-Wings and whatnot, the TIE fighters. That's the fastest way to get XP. And if it's double XP, you'll get it in no time.
Nice.
Yep, they did this a few times. They did this, they usually do this around all the holidays. I think it was like around Christmas, and I forgot, maybe it was around New Year's too. But yeah, so double XP all weekend. So I'm definitely going to be hopping in there, and I don't know, trying to get high up. Yeah, there's a few different alien races I want to unlock. And the Shadow Stormtrooper. We got one more other piece of news here for video games. A few weeks ago, we talked about David Gator, which was like the head writer for Dragon Age, Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic, announced his departure of BioWare, and you know, he was there for about 2 decades, and we assumed he probably was going somewhere else. And we found out where he's going. He's going to the Canadian developer Beamdog, the studio behind Baldur's Gate 2 Enhanced Edition. So who knows what they're going to do. It's kind of odd because that's Baldur's Gate 2 Enhanced Edition is an old game, but it's also like an iOS game now. So I'm curious. Yeah, I'm curious what he'd be doing there, why he would make that leap. But I guess we'll find out, shortly.
I suppose so.
Yep. We will hop into some comic book news. So we talked a little bit about this one before, about Jughead revealed as asexual, so we don't have to really go too much into that. But I also saw that DC Comics Rebirth, Van Jensen leaves The Flash in DC Comics. Because there's not much comic book news this week. Have you been reading any comics at all?
I haven't really, no, not lately.
So what made you fall off?
I started reading books.
Yeah.
I just, it's just been a matter of time. Like, I haven't, and there hasn't been anything that's, really dragged me back in. Like,
right.
There's, I read the first like some of the first wave of number ones from the aftermath of Secret Wars back when it was on issue number 6. So, and that was another part of it. Was just it was such bad timing and everything. That was when I fell off DC, was with Forever Evil. When it was like, hey, we're on issue 3, and here's the next issue of Justice League, which takes place after this is all over in 3 issues. So, spoilers, like just
have you read Forever Evil?
I did, yeah. I went back and read it not too long ago, yeah.
It's good. I definitely like Forever Evil. I'm the same way though. Mine was with I think it was Convergence. Is that the one where all the worlds were in a bubble? That's when I fell off. That's the last time and see, here's the thing with DC. I'm up to date with Batman. Ooh, I'm 1 or 2 behind with Batman, but Batman is so good. If you're not reading Batman, dude, that's when I would stay. I would find out wherever you left off. So like, what would you leave off with, the Joker?
I started with when they changed the status quo. Like I saw. Like, after everything that happened with the Joker, like, I read the next couple, but I think only, 1 or 2.
Start there. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
That's probably the best place with DC to start, because that's honestly, to me, they're my favorite book of theirs. Start there. Just stick with that. To get back into comic book series, I tend to pick one book of each kind of pocket of the universe, and I'll dive into it. That absolutely, Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo, it's amazing, and it's kind of self-contained. You don't need to read much else. I haven't read the Robins or anything else like that. The Marvel, I'm so far off from. I did the same thing as you. I picked up a lot of the number ones. I want to jump back into some Avengers, but they're just so all over the place. I can't tell which one is the main Avengers book, and that's kind of a problem. That should not be something that I should have to guess and wonder, especially when we're so deep into this kind of world. We should know of all people,
right? Yeah,
what it is, and that's a problem. I'm sure they're all new, all different. Marvel book is what they really want their number one to be, but when I was reading it, I was like, this bad guy is so weird. Like it was odd, and I'm really finding that I like the weird books the best of Marvel. Like the Squirrel Girl comic is fantastic. It's really fun. The Silver Surfer book, it's my favorite. That's the one thing in Marvel, in the comic, in the superhero side of it that I'm reading. The other thing I'm reading is Star Wars, which have all been great.
Right.
That's the only thing I've actually still caught up with is the Star Wars. I just read the last Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin, and it was really bad. But it was the first one I picked up where I was like, that probably wasn't worth it. And it made me go, probably shouldn't read any more of this. But but all the other series have been just top notch. Star Wars and Darth Vader and whatnot. Even the what's his name? The guy from Rebels.
Kanan, thank you.
Yeah, Kanan, I went back and read 1 through 10. Really good. I've actually really enjoyed his backstory, and it makes a lot of sense. What he went through in the show. It hits on every level. But yeah, man, I think in the next week or so, this week I'm going to pick a book. But I really want to get back into comics. I feel like we've left that part out for so long, and I don't want to jump onto it to make it feel like work or anything, because it's not. It's something I want to do. I'll just probably play a little bit less of video games and whatnot. But yeah, I'm gonna make it this week. I'm gonna jump in and read some Avengers, some X-Men, trying to get back on track and find something that I like. So maybe next week I could come back and say, hey, Logan, pick this up. This is good. This is good. This is bad. Stay away from this. I kind of want to do that. I want to kind of test all around. And next week I'll come back and tell you what I find, tell you what I like. I'll hop into some indie books too, because I've fallen off the bandwagon with that too. And I know there's a lot of good ones out there. But yeah, so yeah, dude, have you been reading any Silver Surfer?
No, I know. Like, that's.
So you haven't read any of the Silver Surfer?
No.
Oh my god, I'm going to ship you some Silver Surfer stuff. Seriously. Oh man, that's so good. And that's the thing, man. I know you would love it because it is Doctor Who from head to toe. If they would have just called it Doctor Who and instead of the Silver Surfer, just you could take a picture of Doctor Who and put it on the book, you would have a Doctor Who book. Like I'm not kidding. That's how
Nice,
close it is to it.
nice.
Um but yeah, so anyway, that's for comic book news. Before we get into reviews and trailers and all that other stuff, let's talk about American Gods.
What did you hadn't read this before?
Right, no, and for however many weeks, we've been doing a lot of Star Wars books, which by the way, little hint, we might be doing another one. And we haven't kind of gone off the path except for the one I did a few weeks ago. But I don't think I've ever read anything Neil Gaiman.
Oh, and that's a crime,
It really is because he's really good.
isn't
Like
he?
I loved how he paid so much attention to detail
Yes.
of America, I guess.
Yeah.
That's the way to put it. Everything from him being in jail, him going through these towns and dealing with these people, it felt very Americana,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. And what people are interested in, what people are into. And I guess to kind of summarize, it's a story about old gods. It starts out with our character Shadow. He does some time for some stupid stuff, and he goes to jail. And before he gets out, and since this is the beginning of the book, I'll just talk about this part. He finds out his wife was in a horrible car accident, so they actually let him go a few days early, and he goes and gets on a plane, and he runs into, I believe, he isn't it? He's on the plane, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's where he meets Wednesday.
Wednesday, yeah.
Yeah.
And so he meets this guy, and kind of, he's really got nothing going for him now because his wife's passed away. He kind of just wants to put his wife to rest. And Wednesday, offers him a job pretty much. And it turns out that he is an old god that came over from overseas. I guess when everyone else did, right? Isn't that how they put it?
Yeah, they brought all of these immigrants from different countries, from everywhere else that came here. They brought their old gods and their traditions with them.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So it was just really interesting, and they're at war with the newer gods, which is the stuff that I guess people nowadays worship. Like what was it, like greed and um was it sex? One of them, yeah, she was all. I remember her like swallowed the guy up.
Well, that was the Queen of Sheba.
Right,
That was
right.
an older character. That was one that was
Oh
just
yeah, that's
trying to
right.
survive. Yeah.
I'm mixing them up. I'm sorry.
No,
You talk more about it.
it was really, think about what we worship now. I remember credit was one of them, and so on. Like that was
Right.
it's kind of what
Internet.
became. Yeah. And it was and they even, like, when you're talking old gods, I mean, they even recruited folk heroes. I mean, at one point they went and talked to Johnny Appleseed, for God's sake. Like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was
I thought it was so weird, and it was so different than anything I've really read in a long time.
yeah.
Yeah, and I thought that was really good. And I mean, even preparing for the show this week, I was asking you, like, what other books are like this that I could read? So, because I can't think of any off the top of my head.
I wish I could tell you.
Yeah,
I
I'll be
really
more prepared in a few weeks. There's actually a book that I want us to read in a few weeks. A friend of the show called the book's called Too Folly. We'll do that. We'll do that in a few weeks. And I'll pick a different book now. But man, I don't know. I've really enjoyed this. I don't think there's a sequel or anything like that to this.
No, I mean, I know there were talks about a sequel or something, but I don't think they ever went anywhere. But you can see why, when Starz said they were making a series out of this. Like, first of all, it has to be on Starz, for one thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. When I was reading, I was like, wow, this is crazy. So yeah, they could do that on regular television.
Oh no, not
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but I like the way he writes. Like I said, I've never really read anything Neil Gaiman. I know one of my friends, Anna, she's somehow related to him, I believe. She's always got pictures and stuff with him, and she always just praises what he does and his works and whatever. I don't know why, but I was never, I guess, exposed to any of his work until now. And I really like it, the way he describes things. And I know that sounds so cliche, but I just love the way he describes things in the books. Because I can picture it in my head so well, the way he does it. So I want to read more of his stuff.
He's got a decent catalog.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he did Sandman, right? That's
Yes.
where he got his big comic. So yeah, man, yeah, I would definitely love to read more of his novels and whatnot. But yeah, it was really good. I'll have to look into that. Maybe I'll pick that for one of the weeks coming up, because it'd be just give me an excuse to read more of his, because I really liked it. And yeah, absolutely, that's going to be a great show. I'm definitely going to be watching that. You said it was on Stars, right?
Yeah.
Right. So I guess, I mean, I'm just because I don't want to do Too Folly just this week, just yet. I mean, I guess I want to pick a book that I've been wanting to read, and of course it's Star Wars. But it's Lords of the Sith. The reason why I'm picking that, and let me pull it up here. I believe it's called Star Wars Lords of the Sith. And the reason why I wanted to pick it was because when I was asking someone, what are the best Star Wars books right now? And they said Lost Stars, hands down. We've read that, we loved it. They said also, if you've already read that, read Lords of the Sith. It's by Paul S. Kemp. And you get more personal with Darth Vader. From what I understand, you get more in his head. It's about him and the Emperor and their connection and their relationship. So the book's apparently about dives deep into the relationship. So I wanted to read that, as our book this week. Okay. So yeah, go ahead and pick it up if you're listening. The books in the bookstore, I think they have they have the cheaper version out now. I think it's like $7.99. The audiobook, if you want to listen to audiobooks, I always recommend listening to the Star Wars audiobooks, just because it's like listening to a play, if that makes sense, like a radio play. If you don't have time to read and you just kind of want to sit back and listen, that's another way to go too. So that's my book this week. We'll do Two Follies, a friend of the show's, in a few weeks down the road. I think we got to take a break real fast. But when we get back, we'll go into some reviews of some of the TV shows we watched this week. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and we will see you in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and we got a little bit more left for you. Let's kind of jump into the trailers. We saw a few different trailers during the Super Bowl, and I thought they're pretty good. What'd you think?
I did too. I liked them.
Yeah, man. Let's start with the Civil War one. I loved it with that whole hand thing with Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Yeah, he shoots the gun and his face. Oh, it's so good.
And I love the look on Tony's face. Like, really?
Yeah, like I think he was a little bit shocked. Like, did you just try to shoot me?
Yeah.
I thought it was perfect. It was cool. We saw Ant-Man. We haven't really seen him much in the trailers, but you see, of course, he's with Team Cap. I thought it was all around a good little 40-however-second trailer.
Yeah, it's interesting. The teams are uneven.
Oh yeah, they're totally uneven. But I mean, I don't know why. I mean, I side with Team Cap.
Yeah.
But I don't know why they would side with Tony. I mean, it makes a little bit of sense of what he's saying and whatnot. But I liked that when I saw. I think it was Paul Rudd talking about why would Ant-Man be with him? And he's like, he's Captain America. Why would you go against that? It's like, oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that's a little hard to argue.
Yep. I didn't see the Jungle Book trailer. What'd you think of it?
It's a trailer for the Jungle Book. Like, you got a better look at Bagheera and you heard Bill Murray deliver a few lines at least,
Oh, really? No, see, I gotta see that then. I haven't seen that. I'm curious what he sounds like. Does he sound like Bill Murray?
He sounds like Bill Murray, yeah.
Okay, there we go. That sounds cool. Yeah. We saw Cloverfield, 10 Cloverfield Lane. And from what I understand, is this the right one where it showed more of like the side of, oh wow, John Goodman's right.
Yeah, there's aliens. I don't know.
Well, no, I went over the trailer again and I watched it. There's not one thing in there that says anything about aliens. There's a lot of loud noises.
And
There's a
bright
lot of a
lights.
car crash, and there's a light. So
Yeah.
it's like, okay, that could be a helicopter. Everything could be explained away. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And I love that. I love that it in the first trailer it made you think John Goodman's a crazy person keeping him captive, and in this one it's like, oh wait, no, he's right. He's trying to help you. But either way, if you really break it down and you go over every little scene, you're like, oh, it's trying to make you think that. So I love that. I love that idea.
Yeah.
Jason Bourne, he's punching people, killing people.
Yeah, I like the idea of, now Bourne, we've seen him in 3 different movies, but he's never been him. He's been what he's created himself to be.
Right.
Instead of who he was. And now I think he's kind of backsliding into the guy that first came to the program.
Right.
And I think that's interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be real cool. Matt Damon's killing it. Independence Day Resurgence, what did you think of it?
I loved it. More gratuitous destruction of cities by aliens. Go for it. Why not?
Yep. What comes up must go down, or whatever he says. I thought it was really cool, spot on with the fighter jets going over the football stadium, and then all the alien ships come in and just zap them out of the way. I was like, that is perfect. Not sure how that's going to play out in the movie, but it looked really cool.
I imagine that was probably just a spot created for the trailer.
Right, exactly. Because I'm pretty sure they see him coming a long way where there's not going to be firefights going over a football field. They'd probably cancel it for that day. But yeah, I thought it was really cool. What about the X-Men Apocalypse trailer?
You know me. Don't talk to me about this movie.
Dude, that looks okay. I'm on board with it now. When I saw Psylocke slice through the car and Olivia Munn, oh dude, I was on board with Olivia Munn. I was like, okay, yep, I'm in. That's awesome. I needed to see that. I thought it was super cool looking. I really liked it. I mean, Magneto looks like Wolverine in it. Like, I don't know. It looked really cool. But I'm on board. TMNT Out of the Shadows.
This looks fun.
It totally looks fun. We got Krang.
Yeah, and this is what they're going with. Like, everybody, I keep seeing people who are like, it's not my Eternal. Shut up.
This is our Ninja Turtles. I mean, if you were into the TV show, this was pretty much it. This is everything we should have gotten with TMNT 2. You know what I mean? We got Vanilla Ice. We got Krang. Or no, we didn't get Krang. We got it was like a hamster and a.
We got Toka. Yeah, we got Toka and Razor instead of Bebop and Rocksteady.
It's almost like, and this is what I like, is like, they heard the cries from the original, not the original, but the first film of this franchise or whatever. They heard the cries of, what people didn't like, and they're like, you know what, we're gonna give them Bebop and Rocksteady. We're gonna give them all of these characters. They're like it's just so Krang. For Christ's sakes, so what else do you want as a Ninja Turtle fan?
Right.
They had the big, what do you call it? It was like the big circle thing in the sky or whatever.
Technodrome.
Technodrome. Like, oh my God, what else needs to happen? You know what I mean? You're not gonna please any TMNT fan if they didn't see any of these trailers and get a little bit excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you didn't get a little tingling anywhere, then you're just dead to it. You need to move on. You're officially grown old out of it and grown out of it. So, leave us to have fun with it. And I liked it. What about this Far Cry Primal trailer? I didn't see it.
It's a 5-minute, here are the basics of Far Cry Primal. It's the setting, the weapons, the characters. It's a primer, basically. It's a quick, here's what's going on guide.
I'm thinking this happened during the Super Bowl.
Yeah, right. I wish.
Yeah. No, that's cool. I definitely got to check that out. It looks the stuff that I've seen from it looks so weird and so bizarre and so different from the other games. and that's why I like it. Even though I do like the Far Cry games, I like that they're just like, you know what? We don't have to keep doing the same thing.
Right.
We can be weird and we can get different and we can do this completely different time zone and the way you interact with the creatures and I like that. It just has the Far Cry title as far as I'm concerned. It's not really a Far Cry game. At least it doesn't look like it. But I didn't see the 5 minute long.
It's
thing.
you ought to take a look at it. Like it's like, oh yeah, it's Far Cry with cavemen and wolves and tigers and woolly mammoths and wow, this is weird.
Oh yeah. Well, we only got a few minutes left. What do you want to do? Do you want to talk about Daniel Bryan? Do you want to talk about some reviews?
Let's talk Daniel Bryan. Like we could always table the reviews if we need to.
Definitely. So you are a much bigger wrestling fan than me, so I'll kind of let you take control of this one.
Yeah, this was a bummer, and this was one that unfortunately a lot of us were afraid was going to happen.
Right.
Early on Monday, Daniel Bryan announced on Twitter that he was going to be on Monday Night Raw to announce his retirement.
Mm-hmm.
And that was what he did. He came out and I liked how they did the show and then they had him at the end instead of like having him come out first like they did with Edge a couple of years ago. And it was a similar kind of predicament, just in terms of this is a business that will just destroy you physically.
Right.
And sometimes you just have to. It comes to what happened with Edge a couple of years ago was he went in for an MRI or X-ray or whatever it was, and when the results came back, the doctors kind of all unanimously sort of said, "Look, no more. This is going to kill you. Don't do it anymore." And so that was that. With Daniel Bryan, it was more of they've done these tests and he's been training and everything looks good. We're gonna get you rolling again. And then he went in for some more recent tests and they said, actually, maybe not so good.
Right.
And he talked about it and he gave him, I think he did like, I don't know, it must have been 15, 20 minutes where he did his whole goodbye. And it was a great segment. And, you always hate to see him go because he had just ridiculous wrestling ability. He could carry a match from a technical standpoint, from a style standpoint, from a psychology standpoint. And he had, he was somebody you could absolutely get behind. And to see him go because of, and fairly young, in when you really think about it, he's what, 30, 33, 34.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, and not, he talked about all the concussions that he's had, and that was part of what's showed up, and you wonder if something, like we have the looming specter of CTE prominently with football, but also it's a problem with professional wrestling.
Oh yeah.
But it makes you wonder about a guy like that as opposed to somebody like Jeff Hardy, who's done just a ridiculous amount of insane things during his career, and he's still walking. So it's not fair, but sometimes that's the way the ball bounces.
Yeah, man. We when he said, maybe my brain wasn't as okay as I thought it was.
Yeah, that's.
You were just like, oh God, yeah. Well, yeah, no, it definitely sucked. But I'm sure he'll move on. He might do what Edge did, get into acting. His face is everywhere. People love him. I'm sure he'll bounce back and do something great with it. But we got to go. And in closing out, I'm going to go ahead and tell you where you can find us. Again, you want to go to We Geek Podcast. It's on Facebook. Go like our page. Talk to us. We got two groups. One you can share, talk, and whatnot, and one you can like for us. Go to our Twitters. It's at We Geek Podcast and at Adam Estep and
at The Logan Witt.
There you go. And wegeekpodcast@gmail.com. Go ahead and send us an email. Again, this week we're going to be reading Star Wars Lords of the Sith, and we'll be back next week. Same time, same place, Wednesdays, 9 p.m. on the N.FM. and we'll see you later, Captain.
Captain.